Our next speaker is Terrell Russell of the IROS Consortium, and he is going to give a consortium update.
That's right. Thank you, Corey. So I'm Terrell. Again, welcome. This is 16 years of this, which is a long time. I got my old shirt on today for the picture. So see how it goes. So here is a list of 16 places we've been. Well, some of them are the same place a couple times. 2 of them are fake places that happened in the computer when the world ended, but we are back. So we are excited to do this again, and we hope this is continuing a good idea and hopefully farther into the future. If you would like to be on this list, please contact me after this talk. We are always looking for the next place. We have gotten into a rhythm generally of being in the US one year and coming to Europe the next year, but that is not necessarily fixed in stone. We have people all over the place, and traveling is hard. So we try to come to where the people are. If you would like to be the people, that's great. A special thank you to Surf this year for being this year's host. I think most of you know them. Ander, where are you sitting today? Ander, can you raise your hand? Claudio? They're in the back secret room. There's Claudio. We can clap for Ander later. He's in the back. So thank you for spending all those Zoom minutes with us preparing for this talk for this week. So far, so good. We're on day 2 of 4 of things. And then, of course, thank you to our own team, both the IROD's developer people, but then also kind of our support network for taking pictures and making Zoom things work, and all of our logistics for making the sticky notes show up in the right place and these name tags, all the things that make it work. Thank you, everybody. We would not be here without all of you, each of you. So if this is your first time seeing any of this, here's a super duper high level explanation of who we are, how this works. This is also for people maybe seeing this later on the computer. So we are the IRODS Consortium. We are not a company. This is an organization still part housed at, hosted by a university. So we are part of the Renaissance Computing Institute, or RENCI, which is one of 60 or 70 research institutes at UNC Chapel Hill in North Carolina in the US. And so we very much like having a home. It's a good place to be, and it allows us to have a home base for running a consortium, which is good. Our mission really is to continually make this thing better. This is a science project from 25, 30 years ago. The first 20 years of funding were great. And then the funding agencies decided that the science had been scienced, and good luck. And so 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we had a consortium model because we had all of these people that were using the software and then wanted to continue its use in the future. So our job is to continue to make it work better, and of course continue to grow the community so that we can become sustainable. We love standardization. We've got a unofficial mantra of being normal and boring. We try to get there. We're not there yet. Every day is better. And of course, showing value to the people that do show up and give their dollars and their euro to us. So we did this 11 years ago on a piece of paper. It became real. Our original founders were RENCI and the DICE Group, which was the original group that we stole from California when the researchers came to North Carolina. And then DDN was a storage company that is very interested in how we do our work. Our current membership, largely, I think we're at 20, I'm not going to count them, 23, 24 organizations that have joined and give us some money every year. There are many others that are using IRODS that we have contracts with that are not necessarily represented here. We have 3 secret members. I'm not allowed to use their logos. But our membership is largely people doing science and hardware vendors that want to be maximally compatible with all of the things that we do. And then we've got some technology integrators who can kind of serve as our boots on the ground. So we do a lot of service and support and training. but we can't be everywhere all the time. So if there are companies that want to build solutions to meet call for proposals or things like that, we are happy to help those organizations kind of level up and understand what to do and how to use iRods well. So we become a tool in their tool belt, and we can increase our footprint. So if you know those people, send them our way. See, I did count them, 24. So 22 renewals last year, 2 new members, a couple new service contracts, constantly doing proofs of concepts, statements of work with new people. We have hosted or been a part of 15 conferences and events, which is way more than when the world ended a couple years ago. We went from 0 back to normal, or even more than normal. We've had 2 new hires in our team in the last year, and last summer we had 4 interns. This summer we have 3. They will be starting, I guess, when we get back. I think 1 is maybe even connected now, except it's probably 3 in the morning, so maybe not. I hope you're not listening at 3 in the morning. Our 2 new members this year are Globus, who we've been working with for a long time, but now we have an arrangement with them. We have a Globus connector that is open source, but allows connectivity with systems that you may already have and that aren't necessarily iRods aware. And then Grau Data is a new partner. They are out of Germany and had some early success with integration. They've got a talk later. Ooh, that's tomorrow, not today, tomorrow. As the consortium, we currently have 5 working groups. 1 is a standing meeting that is basically just membership. So we consider that technical working group. That's the goal, is to keep everybody kind of abreast of what's going on and talk about big ideas. Our metadata templates working group, I've got a talk tomorrow to kind of go over what we've done for the last, I think it's 7 or 8 years of work, to talk about how we do metadata. It turns out it's hard. Authentication working group, which originally spun up to try and get different front doors into iRods, and we've had some strong work with that. That one may be spun down in the next year or so if we declare success. An S3 working group, which is relatively new, but has been quite productive and produced a new S3 API, which has a talk. Well, the API doesn't have a talk. We'll be talking about the S3 API here at this meeting. And then our new surprise star, the imaging working group, in the last year or 2, immediately had a lot of interest from around the world, surprising even us. It turns out that that's a up and coming place where there is lots of opportunity and apparently a lot of need. So we hope to be having a lot more information about that in the coming months. Not because it hasn't gotten started, but because we'll have some workable code and good ideas. So in the last year, our efforts have really been about trying to spin up and become sustainable for different local interest groups. Done some work on that. And of course, our sustained travel and presence in different places. We're happy to be here again, of course. New partnerships around the world, trying to spin up, like I talked about, the integration efforts, helping companies learn about how we do things so they can do things well on our behalf. And then obviously a lot of things at RINC, our host institution, ourselves. For those that don't know, our business model really is membership, and everything else is a funnel kind of into that. So we help people get off the ground with free work. We try to answer lots of questions in the open. We do have a Google group that's been around a long time, has lots of answers, but we do have service and support contracts. And then, of course, as a funnel into membership is great. That tier 3 support at the bottom, that's, I think, if and when we are around for 100 years, be sustainable, that's the model, to kind of have a pass through as an opportunity for others. And that's all I have for the update for the consortium. Happy to answer any questions now. If you have questions that you don't want recorded, we can talk about it later.
Can you talk a little bit more about the 3 ranges, what you get with those?
The different levels of membership? Yeah. So I think we have 4 officially on paper. The only one at the top level is RINC, but they get to cheat because they're hosting us. So the first level is almost a kind of a read-only in terms of policy and affecting our changes of our rules, but comes with some hours of support. The middle one has a few more, but kind of a vote along the technical roadmap. So, voice in the room and be able to kind of sway our direction. And of course, any of these things as members, you kind of move to the front of the list if you have an urgent need or a fire that needs to help put out. And then at the higher level, you start to get visibility into kind of budgets and decision making at that level. And of course, all members have access to reduced hours. All we're allowed to sell is our time. So not a scalability model, unless you have figured out how to get more time in your day. Please also see me after the talk. Does that answer the question? Excellent.
Any other questions?
Very good. And nothing in Slack, I guess. We're monitoring
All right.
that. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.